Hello Sagittarius, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works, leave what doesn't, and if I don't catch your storyline on this reading, you can go check your other major placements. So, let's see, we're going to start with, I'm home again, yay. And we're going to start with, well, I did so love being at the beach. It was very fun, very nice. And now it's extremely hot here, and it makes me unhappy, but still, it's my comfort zone. So back to it feels good to come home again, except when it's over 100 degrees. All right, so we have, starting off, the Art of Seduction. Should sound great, right? But it's about a mixed matched motivation. So two people, two entities, a job, you and a friend, you and a lover. It looks like a lover, but it could be anything. Mixed matched expectations and hopes. Someone here just isn't ready for a big commitment, just wants to have a good time. Somebody else here is ready for a heart-to-heart, real meeting of the minds, really putting forth their best effort. And someone else here is just here to have a good time. So neither people have to be wrong. It depends on what they're communicating to each other, because it's always okay to not be ready for a big relationship or a big connection, and it's okay to be ready for one. But are we communicating that? Are we communicating our expectations? What's going on there? We do have, with the Art of Seduction, we have this card. This is Lorelei. This is very immature emotional energy. She's just like, she's young, she's immature, she's making some decisions that are upsetting other people, and yeah, she hasn't tipped this boat over, but they don't know that. They're not sure. They don't know what's going on. What is she doing? Why did she just do this or say this or do this thing? She just seems to be completely unfazed by her effect on these people. So it's a similar thing. Someone here isn't being very careful with somebody else's intentions, hopes, dreams, boat of life. They're just not being careful. There's a bit of emotional immaturity here. And someone has a lot of outsized control, a lot of big power and control in the situation. They might not even realize it. She might not even realize there's people in this boat that were trying to make a living and do stuff. And now she's just upended the whole thing, and she doesn't even notice. She doesn't even care. And that's actually even more disconcerting. Well, if she doesn't notice us here, if she's not really thinking about us and what we need and what we wanted to do today, if she doesn't even notice that, then she could dump the whole thing without even thinking about it. I mean, at least if she noticed us, maybe she could tap into some compassion but she's pretty oblivious to her effect on other people, and what other people wanted and what other people not really communicating or letting. These people did not vote on whether she could pull up anchor or not. She just did it. She's just doing her thing. And so this could be you, this could be another entity in the situation. They're just doing their thing. They might not even realize how you feel. They might not even know. You might be yelling it out at them, hey, I'm taking this very seriously. I'd like it if you would too. And they're not. They're either not hearing or they're ignoring. I think they're just not hearing you. Here we have bloom. Your mind's expanding. You're growing and learning. You're listening. Somebody here is listening. Somebody here is, this is sort of I like to think of this as a vascular communication with sort of the universe, with spirit, psychic communication, just sort of exploding here. Mind being opened, mind opening to other possibilities, to other information. So your mind's really sort of getting blown open here. You're really listening to more intuitive information. It's coming in. It's coming in. You're not really having to try very hard. Your mind's opening and all that information is starting to come towards you. Really a flow and a communication, and your mind is just opening to different possibilities, to different understandings, ways of seeing things. And then we have the gift. So we're talking about you, and you have a gift here. And an interesting thing here is that they're wearing the same dress, but here it's a dress and here it's a skirt. And this swan here, this mated for life swan, this idea that we're really married to and mated to, an ideal. I think this is an ideal here, an ideal relationship. And you've really like held on to this ideal. And it's a gift. Like, you have this gift to give. Don't go giving your gift. It's like your box. It's like, don't go giving your gift box to people that don't deserve it. If you want something more serious, don't go giving away your gift box to people that don't want something more serious. So, but anyway, we got some communication that needs to happen here, and some sort of gifting, some sort of giving, an idea that you're really married to, and you've been very protective, and you've been very protective of that idea, and you're sticking with it. You're not going like, okay, well, you didn't want anything serious. Guess I don't want anything serious either. You know, you've got a gift to give. And so there's something here about long-term commitment. I think that's where you want to go. I'm guessing you're the one that wants the long-term commitment. I think in this situation it could be reversed, but I think that might be the case. Because the swan is here and swans mate for life. And that's something, if that's an ideal you have, then don't fuck around. Like, I've never understood dating just for fun. I don't find it fun just to date. I mean, I might start. I don't know. But in my past, there was a period of time where I found it fun, but then it gets stressful, especially with mixed matched expectations. And when you're just trying to have a good time and somebody else, and then I felt bad. Like, yeah. Anyway. Okay. All right, Sagittarius, this is your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Okay. Okay, that's clever. All right. In your recent past, you have the Hierophant. You have sort of maybe a religious institution, maybe religious expectations, some relationship with a church, with church authority figures usually. It could be spiritual, but I think we're talking more about a past, a history. I'm going to boot my nose here to refocus. A past history here of being part of a church, being part of a religious group, a religious order of some kind, dealing with church authority. We've got the Hierophant. He's got his little like authoritative stick here and his authoritative little wings here. So I don't want to like overemphasize the authority because he's not the emperor. We do have the emperor though, so there is like some sort of who's in charge here. But you're dealing with, you might have been like grown up very religiously or something like that, and that's in your recent past, is this religion, belief system, something like that. In your present situation, you feel a little trapped. You might actually want to, you know, be the other part of this equation and flip that. If you're dealing with sort of religious expectations in your recent past and you're feeling trapped by them, something to consider. So this is Eight of Swords. This is, in your current situation, you feel a little trapped, a little stuck. So it may be that you're the one that, no, I don't know. You could be either person in this equation and feeling stuck. You could be like really wanting some sort of connection and communication with this person, some sort of deep connection, and you really like them and you're not getting it. So what do you do? The answer is very clear for anybody outside the situation, but for people inside the situation, the answer always seems, what do I do? Or you could be wanting to just kind of goof around for a little while, but really like someone, but not be ready to settle down with them, or a job, or whatever. But this is looking really relationships. I'm just going to read it relationship, and you can like switch it around. It's funny, my dad was a minister, and when I started to disagree with his sermons, but I could always find things that I could agree with, and I could just, well, every time he says Jesus, I'll just interpret that as love. I learned quite a bit that way of just like reinterpreting, so that works for me. So I know you can do it. I did it for years. Eight of Swords here is about feeling trapped, but you're not. So this is about, in your present situation, you may be feeling trapped. But what you're trapped by is your perception and your thoughts and your ideas. There's like a million ways to... So this is what's happening to you. Your mind is going to start blowing open, and you're going to start seeing all the possibilities, all the ways to work this, all the ways to do something. But right now, in your present situation, you're feeling trapped. Every time you're like, no, I can't do that. Oh my gosh, I could never do that. The only thing trapping you are those thoughts that you can't do that you're stuck. This is the way it has to be. This is the way it's always been. This is what you expected. Those are, every time you say that stuff to yourself, and it's really hard to catch yourself saying that stuff. That's where meditation comes in very handy. It slows your thoughts down so you can start catching those before they tighten around you and bind you up, you know? So this is being bound by just your thoughts. She can walk away from here. Sometimes people get something out of being in this situation. They get pity, they get sympathy. You know, they can go, it gives them an excuse to go connect with people. So they might, you know, be craving connection and then be like, oh, I'll talk to them about this problem. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. People outside this problem do not think it's a problem, right? People inside this problem are like, what do? I don't know. People outside this problem are like, it's pretty clear what you do. What do you mean? You walk away. You're not trapped at all. So that's in your present moment. In your inner landscape, you're thinking about power. You're thinking about control. You're hoping to have the ball in your court. You're hoping to have a little power. You're thinking about power. So this card directly references a power dynamic. Who's in charge? Who's in control? Whose vision gets to lead the way? Is it the one that wants the commitment? Do they get to have the power and control here? Or is it the one that's not ready for a commitment and is just goofing around for now? Do they get to have the power and control here? Who's in charge? Who's going to say how this turns out? Well, it's going to be both of you. And there's not a lot you can do about the other person. But you're thinking about this. This is on your mind. Your inner landscape is hoping to have some say, hoping to have some control over the situation, hoping you would like to be in charge, but you may not actually be, especially, well, you're more in charge than you think you are right now, or somebody in this situation thinks they're trapped and stuck. But you're thinking about control and being in charge. And if this is you, yeah, you actually are. You're just not. You're just having a difficult time seeing it. So you have a lot more control than you want. But control is part of what's on your mind here. In your inner, what's at issue here is we have the devil reversed. So this is like, this is going to be addiction. This could be releasing from addiction. This could be releasing from, because it is reversed. And in the upright, it's about disconnecting from our true nature, disconnecting from what we want, from ourselves, from our intuition, from, you know, the way Spirit speaks to us within. It can be about a disconnection. And something coming in to disrupt that disconnection, like addictions, like obsessions, that kind of stuff, which takes us out of being connected to our higher self. So this could be so it's the devil of reversed. So we can take this two ways. We can take this as a really bad addiction problem, like it's out of control. Somebody's addiction here is very out of control. It could be, if we're talking relationships, could be a sex addiction, could be or an addiction that's interfering with this true connection that one of you would like. Or it could be coming out of that and reversing that and starting to come out of an addiction, obsessive situation. Like here, these might be your obsessions. You might be obsessing over something, and here you might be coming out of that. So the reverse can go a couple different ways. I would hope you would know if you were coming out of an addiction, or an addiction was completely out of control, or something was controlling you, feeling controlled. But it could be coming out of a situation where you're feeling controlled. So how would that be an issue if you're coming out? Not realizing how much control you do have. Not realizing that you can break this. You can free yourself right here. You do have the power to do that. You can free yourself from this situation. You might not be seeing that right now, but you actually do have the power to free yourself. Oh my gosh, sometimes I should really read ahead. Because here we have the Hanged Man. This is your environment. This is the environment of freeing yourself. Look, he's untying this knot. So not a lot's moving externally, but internally he's figuring it out. You know, if you're untying a knot, are you jumping up and down like, I'm untying a knot? No, you're like, I'm untying a knot. I'm untying a knot. No, I'm untying a knot. Like, that's what you're doing. You're untying yourself. So there's something in this situation is breaking free. So we do have this feeling of being trapped, but somebody in this situation is breaking free. That's the environment that you're in, is breaking free from some sort of possibly addiction, or possibly a sense of helplessness, a sense of being controlled. You could be breaking free from all of that. It's not really jumping out at people. No one's going to be looking over at you and being like, oh, look, she's breaking free. He's breaking free. This is all about, so there's just so much here in this reading about who's in control, who's in charge, you feeling helpless, but actually having a lot of control and being able to free yourself from some sort of situation, some sort of addiction or unfair mismatched situation, which you did not feel like you had any control, but you do. This reading is here to tell you that you do have control, you do have say, you can free yourself. We've got 2 cards here of freeing yourself. We've got 2 cards here of taking power back. Your to-do list, I love it. So here we have the Hierophant here. This is religious institutions. This is spirituality. This is intuitive understanding. This is spiritual power, personal power, the power of the psyche, the power of the mind. She's not here. You're not going to know where you're going, but you got to go step by step. This is a similar card to this, opening up the mind, opening up the intuition, opening up other ways of knowing and seeing the situation. You're starting to open that up. The High Priestess is about spirituality. It's about navigating through the dark, not being able to see, but being in touch with your intuition and navigating without a lot of clarity. It's very dark where the High Priestess is. She works in the dark. She works alone. She works in the dark, and she's not here to lay everything out. So you might be, this happens every so often, if you are freeing yourself from a situation in which you have been controlled, this might be calling you to do it in secret. You do need to be sitting still and doing this quietly to yourself and not announcing it to the world and not announcing what you're doing and how you're doing it. That can be extremely important. Yeah, this is about not announcing your moves, but making them, okay? So you're not going to be an open book for anybody here. This gift, wrapped tight. Not open. That gift has not been opened yet. That gift is not open. Your mind is opening. Your mind is starting to understand and see things. But there's something here that's shut and needs to be remain and needs to be a closed book. You need to be a closed book right now as your mind does this work in order to regain control of power back into your life. So where you're going, I love this. Queen of Pentacles, having everything you need, having done the work, and resting on the rewards, enjoying the rewards of all the work that you did, enjoying that, having everything you need, the money that you need, the financial support that you need, all of that coming in. And this can be male or female. So yeah, the rewards for the work that you've done, for the work that you've done. This isn't collective rewards. This isn't whatever. This is your rewards for the work that you've done and the work that you've put into this. Can you set yourself free? Absolutely, and you're going to be looking at it. But you gotta navigate through the dark and be a bit of a closed book about it. All right, Sagittarius. I hope that reading was helpful for you, and I sure do like your likes, comments, and subscribes. They're helpful for me and encouraging for me. So I hope you have a wonderful week.